Well, hello there. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're doing a live stream, and as the title and thumbnail suggests, we're going to talk a lot about Star Wars, and more specifically about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And when I say we, I also refer to my buddy here, Jack, aka GTH Studios.
Yep.
So, hi, man.
Hello.
Okay, you ready? On the count of three, we're going to say we're gonna say our opinion about the movie. 3, 2, 1. I loved it.
What is that?
That's your opinion about the movie?
I'm still just like, what did I just watch? I didn't hate it. I wouldn't say I loved it either, though. There were definitely things in it that I loved.
Okay, so before you jump into those, I'm gonna open this Lego set that I bought for the stream. This is the Lego Star Wars Duel and Mustafar set. It's supposed to come out like in January, but for some reason I got it early at a local store, and I saw this and I was like, dude, I'm buying this even though it's most likely overpriced. But who cares? I got a job now.
I have been waiting my entire life for a new Duel on Mustafar to come out because I love that scene. I will not be buying that set because it looks awful to me.
Yeah, I feel you.
I have the figures. I might just honestly the price for the original has gone down drastically. I might just pick up that.
Cool. So I'm gonna. So there's two bags for this. I'm gonna open one and then we're gonna jump onto the discussion. We got ourselves a cool looking Lego Yoda here to keep us company, and hopefully people will be showing up in the chat. So far, there's no one. But yeah,
they'll come.
They'll come, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna write again on my Discord. Live stream started. Okay, so let's open this bag and jump right into this discussion. Honestly, I could open both bags. Like, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a mess. But you know what? Let's keep it the traditional way and open it bag by bag. Let's put Yoda a bit aside here so I have some space. That's what she said. And then open this little bag. And we can start. Okay, so talk to me, Jack.
I don't even know where to begin with this. I feel like it's important to say. I mean, you already know this, but just for people watching, I absolutely love everything about The Last Jedi, and he did not. And maybe that says something about the way we feel about this new one.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. So last Saturday, I was planning on going to see The Rise of Skywalker in theaters, but I had an evil plan to go about it, and by evil plan I mean I was going to. So the Joker is still playing in my local theaters.
Oh boy!
And what I was going to do is pay for a Joker ticket and infiltrate into a Star Wars Star Wars screening. But before going to the movies, I was at work all day, and I had I had pretty much zero customers that day, and I was like, hey, you know what? I know how I can spend what I can do during this time, this empty slot. I'm gonna watch the first two, the first two of the first two movies in the Disney trilogy, just to warm up, and I rewatched The Force Awakens, and Force Awakens. What can I say? I mean, I enjoyed the movie when I went to see it in theaters for the first time in like 2015, and I still enjoy it to this day. And I do not see as many problems with it as I may have the last time I rewatched it.
Honestly, I would agree with that. Like watching it for the first time in years, I actually love it and would put it way higher up on my list, I think, than I would have before now.
Yeah. And then I rewatched The Last Jedi, and I expected to cringe all the way. And like, so I watched it, and I did not hate it as much as I remember hating it. But I mean, I see the problems that there are in that movie, but they just did not annoy me as much, and I I managed to somewhat enjoy watching the movie. I mean, not enjoy, but I just shut my mind when I watched the movie, and I was able to just go with it. And and so then that night when I went to see the Rise of Skywalker in theaters, I was about to execute my evil plan. So I went with a friend, my good friend Adrian. Shout out to Adrian if he's watching, which he's probably not. But yeah, we went to see the Rise of Skywalker, and so what happened was the 2D projector at the room where it was supposed to screen, it did not work.
What?
It got damaged, and that screening was canceled. But there was a 3D screening 15 minutes prior to the one that we originally wanted to go to. So I had no other choice but to go for the 3D. To go for the 3D screening, and I paid to see the Rise of Skywalker. I went to see it legally, and guess what, dude? I enjoyed every minute of it.
That's so fascinating.
It is, yeah. I did not.
I did not expect you of all people.
I expected it to be awful. Honestly, I
I
expected
expected it to be awful too, and I went from kind of hating it through the movie till by the end I was like, okay, I can live with this. And I saw it 3 times that weekend just because with various people. I saw it opening night by myself because I wanted to avoid as many spoilers as possible, which did not happen.
understand.
And then I saw it with my friends and then my family on 2 other days, and I liked it a little more every time, I will say.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, by the way, Hawaiian Beach is in the chat. What's up, man? It says hello, Dark lads. Long time no talk. Yeah, it's been a while, Hawaiian Beach. It's funny. The second I saw your name, the first thing that came to mind is the action brick is in Hawaii now.
I thought of that too.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, welcome to seeing Hawaiian Beach. It has been a long time, so it's good to have you on here. So I saw The Rise of Skywalker 2 times. Once in theaters, and once I'd rather not say how, but I think you can figure it out. And okay, obviously there's some continuity issues, and and like y- you know stuff that like questionable stuff like how Palpatine survived and why is he not deformed.
He was deformed though.
Yeah, but not the way he was deformed in Return of the Jedi.
Um,
He
honestly,
didn't.
stuff like that didn't bother me a ton. I'm more of a. It's more of the inconsistencies in the theme of the trilogy that bothered me.
In the theme of the trilogy.
Yeah, I guess it's just like I
What do
feel
you
like
hear by what do you hear by the themes of the trilogy?
I just mean with Force Awake, it basically I don't feel like it's as disrespectful to Ryan Johnson as some people um say, but like it does very little to, and I do say very little because in some respects I actually do like how it addressed Last Jedi, but I feel like it just kind of exists and doesn't really continue the themes of that movie, which I personally really enjoy and appreciate. It just felt weird to me that there's all this setup that didn't really go anywhere. And I know people said that about The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, but even if it um even if it did went differently in The Last Jedi than people might have expected or wanted to, it at least did something with it. And I feel like there are some things that just like uh it's just some parts of this movie just ugh.
I love how you have gripes with the movie and I love the movie for the same reason because it takes a shit on the Last Jedi.
Some things though I feel like people are reading too deep into, like the Luke scene was we're talking spoilers, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, that's what I
Okay.
thought.
I think I need to. Yeah. Um. Hold on. Let me check the title real quick and
Yeah,
yeah,
the
I need to add with spoilers, all caps, save changes, and saving. An error occurred on YouTube. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment, then try again. Okay, yeah, just stock spoilers. Feel free.
okay, so like the Luke scene. That's something that everyone's like, oh, they're ripping on the Last Jedi. I actually in that scene I didn't see that because as he says in the movie, Luke, he was wrong. Like he goes through a change, and it makes sense at this point that he can look back and say a Jedi's weapon deserves more respect. Like it, like I got something different out of that line than I think maybe you did. I didn't see that as apologizing to the Last Jedi. I see that building on Luke's character growth um, in the movie. So I loved that scene. That and basically the three scenes that really stood out to me in this movie uh, were the that scene with Luke, this scene with the with Rey getting the power from the Jedi of old, and the last scene. Those scenes really stood out to me, and I loved those. Everything else was ranged from like, yeah, this is pretty fun, like I'm having a good time, to being mildly infuriating. But I feel like those scenes were so good that I can live with. Like I would rewatch this movie and probably have a good time with it. Like I can live with this movie existing, even though there's some things I really wish didn't have to happen.
Yeah. Okay. What were the? Okay. Before I ask, Trooper Geo says Rise of Skywalker sucked big PP. The whole Ray and Finn thing never went anywhere. Well, okay. So what? Yeah. So what I was going to ask is what did you? Yeah. So what stuff did you not agree with? The like you just finished your sentence with that. What did you?
Um,
Did you not agree with?
the big thing that like I was having a great time up until Ray Palpatine, and this that just I was it was I've never seen anything like it in a theater, and I know it sounds like a um I don't know if you're on Reddit, but
No,
in,
not.
there's like this sounds like the kind of it sounds like I'm being hyperbolic. Basically, I'll use a different analogy. This is gonna sound like I'm making this up, but I swear this is exactly what happened to my theater opening night. That once Kylo says you're a Palpatine, half the theater just groans loudly, and the other half just like kind of reluctantly applauds. It was just the most awkward thing I've ever seen, and I was just like, no, they can't be doing this. And honestly, once I saw where it was going in the end, I don't hate it anymore. I wish that they'd stuck to Rey's parents being nobodies, but like that ending scene was so good that if it took us that to get there, I'll live with it. I feel like you could have made it work better where with I guess just still keeping more of what Rian Johnson and even JJ set up before. I feel like if you could have still had the parents be jerks who threw Rey away, because that's something that like JJ set it up as something as the parents being like with the scene with Maz Kanata. I always saw that as that being the parents like deliberately threw that away. So that's something that JJ set up, you know. So I don't know why. I feel like the fact that the parents died protecting Rey, I feel like it would have worked a lot better if they just left that out. I wonder if it's possible to make an edit of this movie where you just remove any reference to Rey being a Palpatine, because it's so like largely inconsequential that like I feel like the movie could work a lot better if they just left that out.
I mean, you could leave it out. I mean, you could edit it out. I imagine, but then it would remove the. It would just see. If you remove Rey being a Palpatine, any reference to that, that kind of, that also kind of like, okay, so the thing about the rise of Skywalker is JJ finally made Rey a compelling character.
I do like. I thought that Daisy Ridley gave her performance was. I agree with the critics. I think her performance was, I think, even better than in the last two movies. And I always thought she was good, but especially on rewatches. But
yeah, so Rey went through a lot in this movie, and like we finally see her struggle, and basically the mean like the reason for her struggle in this movie is because she's a Palpatine. And if you remove any reference to that, we see her struggle, but we don't know why.
yeah, no, which is why I said it probably wouldn't work. It's just kind of a fanboy dream. Actually, I will amend what I said to say that like I actually think that Rey Palpatine, it does, even though I wish they didn't do it, I do still acknowledge that I think it does work because it addresses the same question Rian Johnson presented about choosing your own identity, like for Rey, but in a different way. It's like two different answers to the same question, that you can be born into one thing, but then, because I do disagree with the notion that, oh, it's just a repeat of Luke, because Luke tried to redeem his bloodline while Rey kind of chooses it for herself in the end, which is something I actually really appreciated.
Yeah, because she just knows that he's irredeemable.
Right, I thought that was interesting, and like so.
It would be interesting. It would have been interesting to see her trying to redeem him, but it's impossible.
If she tried and failed, that would have been interesting.
Yeah,
and actually, Rey Palpatine, like, even though I don't love it, I'm okay with it. The actual biggest problem for me where just like I find it so hard to rationalize this, is Bendemption. I did not want to see it, and the way they did it, even though the Han Solo scene was really good, and I wish there was more of that. I just feel like it just didn't work for me, and I feel like I feel like I would have begrudgingly been okay with it if they just didn't have that's the worst scene in the movie by far for me, where I was just like, I can't make any sense of this, is when Kylo Ren, Ben Solo brings Rey back from the dead, kisses her, and then dies. I was just, what?
Yeah.
What was that? I
was like, Mazel Tov, guys, Mazel Tov. But like, I see what you mean. But I actually like this moment, not because of I ship Raylo and what. No, it's it was it was a nice moment because we finally get to see a side of Ben Solo that we haven't seen before. Like, we see this young man. We see him smile for the first time.
Yes, and actually, I will.
This was nice. I felt that moment.
There was one interpretation of that scene that I can kind of get behind, that I saw, where it just says that Rey and Ben's kiss was kind of awkward just because these are two people who don't actually feel romantic attraction to each other, but are rather looking for connection. And just like in this moment of redemption, I guess just are acting on impulse. And I feel like that could work. I just highly doubt the movie is that smart to do something like that.
I feel it was kind of set up though in The Last Jedi when they touched hands.
Yeah, which is why, again, like the writing was kind of there. I just wish that I feel like it would have been interesting if Ben Solo has to be redeemed. I feel like it would have been more interesting if Rey died and Ben lives and he has to live in a world where he just like screwed everything up. That would have been interesting, I think. And I would have been okay with he's redeemed, but he has to live in a world of consequence.
Yeah, I feel you, yeah. But actually, I mean, I think it's okay that he died. I mean, yeah, it is a shame. I mean, I like he was probably like the best character of that trilogy, but
honestly, though, I would have said that at one point, but honestly, rewatching The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, like, I love all four of these characters so much. Like, I feel like the last movie kind of dropped the ball in some respects, but with the handling of the characters. But like Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo, I feel like this is a hot take right here. Like, could be my favorite leads in Star Wars.
Okay.
Could be. I just feel like the other, like, I was never really a fan of Han until The Force Awakens. Luke was always my favorite Star Wars character, I think, is Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi specifically, not before.
Yeah.
And then the prequels, I love elements of those characters, but I feel like overall, there's interesting stuff going on.
Trooper Geo says, well, he said a lot of things. He said the only part I liked was the opening. Everything else was dog shit. I fucking hated the Rey vs. Palpatine fight. Also, I hate how they made Rey a fucking Palpatine. This makes me want to know how Rey's dad or who Rey's dad or mom was. Yeah, so Rey's dad was Palpatine's son, and like I was like, who did he shag?
That's the thing. I don't want to know who Rey's parents are. Just stay away from it. Don't show them. I was like, oh no, movie, don't do that.
And then he continues. He says the whole parents dying for Rey is an overused cliche. Rey was still a Mary Sue in the movie. Reylo, in my opinion, is one of the worst fanships in existence.
I actually have an interpretation on my third viewing. I have an interpretation of Palpatine's role in this movie that I actually think justifies his existence, where just it kind of builds off the themes of Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite Star Wars movie. Because in that movie, I guess a big part of it is Anakin fearing a future, and because he acts out of fear rather than confronting that fear, he brings about the reality that he wanted to avoid. And that's something that I think is definitely a really powerful theme. And they kind of address that in Rise of Skywalker with Rey seeing herself on the throne, and then instead of after trying to run from it, but then because of Luke's guidance and Rey's character growth, she confronts it directly. She's kind of a mirror to Anakin and succeeds where he fails, and I kind of like that. And even they even address the Darth Plagueis scene with one of Palpatine's first lines: "The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some would consider to be unnatural." So I kind of see one of the themes of that links Revenge of the Sith and Rise of Skywalker is, I guess, just it's bad. Like, it'll be bad when you try to avert the inevitable, such as bringing someone back to life, which is what was seen as a part of the dark side, and something that Palpatine is super messed up because he tried to come back from the dead. And I feel like it would have worked perfectly, except for the fact that Ben Solo brings Rey back to life. So is it a dark side thing or not? I'm so
okay. So what I think is, okay, so the Sith are not able to bring people back from the. I mean, okay, they are to some extent, though. What we know so far about the Sith is that they're able to manipulate the midichlorians, and that they're also able, like they also have, like, you know, we saw Palpatine draining essence from Rey and Ben, which is, by the way, it felt a direct ripoff of the Dark Crystal, but I'm okay with that. I don't care. And what we also know is that, so what we know about the Jedi, though, is that they are able to force heal. And from what I gather from, like, videos that I've seen and everything, force healing is something that only the Jedi can do. It's like it's a light side power, and when you use it, the way it works is that you transfer your force energy, like some of your force energy, when you do that. And what Ben did at that point, he turned back to the light, and so he so he wasn't. I don't think he was sure at first if he was able to do that, but, like, at that point he was ready to, like, like he wanted to give it a try because he just you know he had that look. I'm not just going to leave you like this, you know.
Yeah.
And so you know I just yeah I'm okay with that. It worked.
See, I feel like if they'd established that Rey was still alive but dying, um, I feel like it would have been fine to make the distinction that okay, the Sith can go to unnatural lengths to because that's the thing
Stay
though. Like,
alive, yeah.
in the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, it's established that the Sith can save others from death.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's force healing though. It might be some
Right.
other kind of dark magic because
So,
we have seen Palpatine, um, you know, do dark magic before in the like in the Clone Wars and Rebels.
right. So I feel like if they'd made that distinction better,
Yeah,
what I want to see out of that scene is that Rey was not actually dead, like medically dead, and she was just on the brink of death, and Ben force healed her back to life. That's what I want to see, but the movie seems to treat it like she was actually fully dead, like the way Daisy Ridley is like just completely motionless.
hmm
Um, so I feel like if they'd just done a better job of distinguishing, okay, the Sith, what the Sith do to create life is unnatural, but the Jedi being self-sacrificing and doing this, that's okay. I feel like if they made that distinction somewhere in the movie, it would have worked better for me. But just the way it's presented, I'm just a little bit confused and kind of inserting my own logic where I want to. I'm basically forcing myself to like this movie and make it work in my head because the movie just doesn't give the clearest explanation to things.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, yeah. Um, what I do find kind of confusing is like the way that whole third act kind of worked with the force powers. So what happened? So Palpatine says that when Ray would when if Ray kills him, his spirit will transfer into her, right? His essence will transfer into her, and they will become one. And and she will be Emperor Palpatine, etc., etc. And then and then Ben shows up and he drains the essence out of Ray and Ben, making him all powerful and um, Ben survive. So they both seemingly survives. Like they both get up. Ray and then Ray like she deflects the lightning and whatnot, and she falls and basically dies, and then Ben shows up. He climbs back from that pit, which respect. I don't know how he did that, but good for him. He climbed up from that cliff, um, and he's seemingly still alive. And it doesn't. He looks wounded, but he doesn't look like he's dying. And then he transfers his force essence, like his force energy to revive Ray, but apparently he has transferred like all that's left of, like he didn't have enough. He didn't have enough to keep himself alive, so he basically died at the spot after that kiss. My question is, I have a couple questions. Why did they? Why did Ray? Okay, no, I have three questions. Why did Ray die? Why did okay, why did Ray die and Ben survive? Then why and then why
Well,
Ben
hold on.
had to die?
I saw Ray dying just that time just because she like we used her energy to directly battle Palpatine.
And then the third questions that I have is technically Ray killed Palpatine. So does his did Palpatine's essence still transfer into Ray? Is is Palpatine Ray now or not?
Okay, so I about that last one, I read somewhere, I guess just like if you look carefully, just because it's Palpatine's own energy that defeats him and not Ray directly. That's why.
Okay.
I wish they'd made that a little more clear, but like um but that doesn't bother me too much personally.
No, me neither. I just like I'm again. It's just a tiny bit of confusion.
Yeah, no, that's
It doesn't ruin the movie for me, but it's like I can't help but feel a bit confused. That's it.
yeah, no, that's totally valid.
Frozen ground.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Spade Place? Welcome to the stream, man. I missed a bunch of more comments about that from Super Geo. So what he says is um, this is how I would have written the movie. It is revealed that Rey is a Sith sleeper agent, and during the third act, she betrays the Resistance and kills many of their main characters. What do you mean by Sith sleeper? It's like she she's only a Sith in her sleep, or what? What? Um, I yeah. What do you mean by Sith sleeper? Sith sleeper agent. Then he says these characters would be okay. So she betrays the Resistance and kills many of their main characters. These characters would be Leia, Rose, and possibly Poe. No Kylo. No, Kylo brought. Okay, no, Kylo brought Rey back by transferring his life force into her. No, because no, he didn't transfer his life force. He transferred force energy, like she did to him earlier in the movie when she healed him. The difference is that Kylo was, I guess, he was only wounded, and Rey was dead. So it's like a soul for a soul, basically. So I think that's what happened. But again, like, why did she die and he didn't? When Palpatine drained their essence, that's I yeah, I'm confused a bit, but hey, whatever. Then Geo says Ben was never dark in the first place because he didn't have the yellow eyes of the Sith. I mean, they all for some people, for some Sith warriors, they don't always appear. I think you saw with Count Dooku, he didn't always have the Sith eyes. Actually, in the movies, he didn't have the Sith eyes at all. Count Dooku, and
I don't think Kylo Ren was ever a Sith though, right? So
no, he did turn to the dark side.
right, yeah, but maybe that's just a Sith thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Um, Ray should have died because then her character can have an actual arc. Otherwise, she's just an overpowered Mary Sue. Okay. Spade Play says, "Yo, welcome, Spade Plays, man. Welcome to the stream, man." Geo says, "A sleeper agent is a spy who is placed in the target country or organization not to undertake an immediate mission, but to act as a potential asset of if activated." Yeah, okay. By the way, speaking of agents, the most hilarious moment in the movie for me is when Hux says, "I'm a spy."
I loved that.
I laughed my ass off when that was revealed.
Okay, so now that I tried to, usually I try to avoid rumors going like leading up to the movie, but when they're so early on, I'm like, I read them out of amusement just because like, you know, there's no way that's actually going to happen. The movie's so early in development. Nobody, there's no Lucasfilm insider who knows all this. I read that years ago that in the new movie Hux was going to be a secret traitor, and I just like, I was like, there's no way that's going to happen. And then it did, and it caught me completely off guard. I loved it.
Yeah, and okay, so what he says so then he says, "Yeah, shoot me." So it looks like so they don't they don't I'm not a suspect, so they don't suspect me. Hold on. What, you want to get out? Get out. Go eat your food and take your shit. All right. So yeah. So when he said so that scene, he's like he says, "I don't care if you win. I just need Kylo Ren to lose." And at first I was like, "Did you laugh or did you lose?" But then I realized that it's part of a bigger plan, because he needed Kylo Ren to lose so he can like try and strip him away from his power as supreme leader and overthrow him as supreme leader, because like that's like we kind of see it in the Last Jedi when Snoke dies. He's like, "Nah, dude, they need to listen to me," but then Kylo chokes him, and he bends the knee to him.
Right,
But
like Hux surprisingly had an arc in this trilogy that like was coherent across all three movies.
yeah,
Like this, it makes total sense when you think about it. I think.
yeah, it's this was a weird trilogy, to be honest.
It was. I'll be the first to admit that, even though I absolutely love the first 2/3 of it, and I'm okay with the last third of it existing.
Yeah. So yeah, I find so when he died, I was like, thank goodness. I hated that character, but also, it was funny. It just that the whole thing, it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like I was like, okay, I'm letting this slide. Like, this was entertaining. Thank you, JJ. Bravo.
And Richard E. Grant was pretty cool too, as like
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I hate that he was kind of used as a joke in The Last Jedi. Like he's supposed to be like this like he's supposed to have he's basically Ginger Hitler in The Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi he's kind of a joke. He's a joke.
I thought that was hilarious. I love that. But
yeah, but like,
I see your point.
It's what I hate with like this is like one of my gripes with the entire franchise of Star Wars, is that the so-called dark and powerful and like like the Empire and the battle droids. They're supposed to be overwhelming and they are supposed to be feared and but they are basically jokes because they battle droids, they're dumb. They all they but they're droids. They're supposed to have some. They're supposed to be intelligent to some extent, but not to that kind of extent where they joke like they're a joke. And then there's stormtroopers who the joke about them is that they can only aim when it's convenient, and that they're easy to take out like battle droids, and that they're weak minded, so Jedi can like do Jedi mind tricks on them. So yeah, I hate that they're so conveniently dumb, those soldiers.
It's Star Wars. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's Star Wars, and I love the reason why I love the Rise of Skywalker. The main reason why I love the Rise of Skywalker is because it finally taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson that the Last Jedi couldn't, and maybe it tried, but it went it went about it in a very dumb way. But the Rise of Skywalker, it taught me a lesson, and the lesson is Star Wars. Star Wars is when okay. So this movie, so the Rise of Skywalker, it felt to me a lot like J.J. Abrams as a kid playing with his toys on a playground, and it was a lot of fun to watch, and it was a very fun feeling, and so the lesson that it taught me is that Star Wars is a playground, and the universe that you build on that playground, it can be whatever the f-bomb you want.
I'm glad you got that out of the movie. I got much more meaningful lessons out of Last Jedi for me personally. I didn't really see the only see. I personally didn't like the feeling that this is JJ hitting a bunch of action figures together, because that's kind of what it felt like at times, and I was not a fan of that. I'm glad you liked that, but I feel like by design, everything you like about this movie is what doesn't work for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just find it so interesting.
Yeah. So basically, that's why now I have kind of an easier time accepting those so-called like those problems, those like gripes that I have with like the stormtroopers and the battle droids and some of the characters and like some of the plot holes and like things like Palpatine surviving the Return of the Jedi. That's something that's easily like if you're a kid and you make like a fan fiction of Star Wars in your head and you use your imagination to play with your action figures and like, oh no, Palpatine's alive, how'd he do that? That's what it felt like. It felt like oh, but you should have watched Revenge of the Sith. I said that one sentence. It was an iconic quote.
Not exactly a lesson for me, but I also I went into this movie just having seen the reviews, just writing what I would see, and at the end of the day, even though I didn't necessarily agree with all of the creative choices, I was just like, hey, this is a fun Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So I think I'm sort of coming from it the same way you are. I like my Star Wars.
It just means a lot more to you, like more than that, a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So do tell, like, what is Star Wars to you, basically?
Mm,
I for me, I said it was a playground. That's what I said. What that Star Wars was for me. What is it for you?
there's a scene in so this is a really good question. And I'm gonna answer it mostly with a scene that I feel like doesn't get. I'm not gonna pretend like it's the best moment in Star Wars or anything, but there's a moment in The Last Jedi that I really love when Leia and Holdo are saying goodbye to each other, and Leia doesn't want to let Holdo, kamikaze into the First Order ship, but and so the exchange goes something along the lines of, "I can't take any more losses," and Holdo says, "Sure you can. You taught me how." And I feel like that's how I feel about Star Wars. How it's something that we can kind of connect our own struggles to, and it's such a universal part of our culture that I feel like everyone can kind of connect to it in a different way and take different elements that they like and kind of just lay down the things that they're worried about onto. Same thing that's why Luke's failure arc resonates with me so much, just because it kind of taught me to let go. I guess just mistakes that I may have made at one point. Not as drastic as almost killing my nephew. The little things.
Yeah.
So yeah, Star Wars has helped me through a lot, and even though Rise of Skywalker was not perfect in my mind, I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it all exists.
Okay. So, what else can we? What else do you have to say about the movie?
That last scene is might be the best ending to a Star Wars movie. I don't know if I would go that far, but it might be. I love that ending.
You love Rey Skywalker.
I do, and I'm surprised that a lot of people, even people who either didn't like the movie, it doesn't get talked about, but I feel like it kind of reinforces the idea from The Last Jedi that anyone can be a Jedi. Now it's like anyone can be a Skywalker. Anyone can like step in, like into the shoes of greatness, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that as. I feel like it would have worked better if Rey was a nobody and then chose to become a Skywalker. But Rey being a Palpatine, choosing to become a Skywalker, I think it still works.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, so that reminds me, one of my favorite things about the Rise of Skywalker is Finn to be revealed to be force sensitive.
I like that too.
And the reason why I like it so much is because the way they explain it, the way I get, at least the way I understand it from the movie, is that he's able to like feel the force and connect the force with the force and all that, all because he believes in it. All because he finally accepts it and believes in it, and yeah, I don't know if you got the same message, but I just like the idea that any, like, I don't even know if it was actually intended, but I like, to me, like, to me it felt like J.J. Abrams saying anyone can use the force if they believe in it.
Well, that was the main message of The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but no, you see, because it wasn't as meaningful, because we had that stupid kid that we didn't care about at the end of the Last Jedi, and like we don't know jack shit about him. Sorry, but for using your name like this, I did not intend this pun. We don't know shit about him, and 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 like it like we don't see why, like he doesn't fit anywhere in the story, like, and we don't, like, it's confused, like why did we have to see that scene? We don't really, what, like, for to me, when I rewatched the Last Jedi, the second the second that scene on when the second we see the Millennium Falcon jump to hyperspace right before the that scene with the kid, that's where I cut the movie. That's where it ended for me. That's how it should have ended for me. That's where the editor should have cut the movie and rolled the credits.
See, I don't know what else to say to that other than everything you just said that you didn't like about that scene is exactly why I like it. I just, by design, that works for me. The fact that we know nothing about this kid, yet he can still be something greater than what we see. That's exactly what I loved. And I do still think it worked with Finn, but
So basically, Jack is saying, amazing. Every word you just said is wrong.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I disagree with.
No, yeah, I know, I get it. It's just yeah, that's what it just reminded me of, that moment. Speaking of that moment, guys, I don't know if you caught it, like, but earlier this week. No, it was when was it? It was last Friday, no, or last Saturday. No, it was definitely. I think it was last Saturday. The Action Brick and Lego Story Workshop released some. They released a couple of Star Wars animations that are connected. That's a project, a Lego Star Wars parody project, in which I voiced BB-8, and I think it was hilarious. Those two videos are hilarious. You should check them out. Just yeah, go to the Action Brick and watch part one of it. It's called The Forced Awakening, and then it will lead you to the second part on Lego Story Workshop's channel. It's called The Ask Jedi.
See,
And,
I still haven't seen them, and I feel bad because I like both of those guys, and I know they worked really hard on it. It's just that I've seen so many, just like so many parodies that just like rip apart these movies that I love. That I'm just like, I feel like I have to check it out, but like,
you have to check it out, man.
I just those movies mean so much to me, and like I just know even if it's well made, I just
It is, dude.
imagine I
You're
will.
not gonna believe the visual effects on those videos. It's like it's like we had people from ILM edit our videos, dude. I'm not even joking. Like, the visual effects on it are sick.
That's the thing. Like, I want to check it out. I'm just completely in the wrong demographic for it.
No, you're not, dude. You love Star Wars.
I do love Star Wars, but okay, I'll do my best to check it out.
Yeah. You're gonna
because, I do feel bad.
even though you liking the movies those videos are parodying is not gonna prevent you from enjoying the videos.
Okay. I guess I just feel this is kind of a tangent, but I just feel like we gotta.
I mean, sure, people who hated those movies are going to appreciate those videos a bit more and enjoy them a bit more, but it still doesn't prevent people who did like those movies from enjoying those videos as well.
Okay. I just feel like with all the stuff that's going on, we need to band together as a community. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. Speaking of everything that's going on, like like what are your thoughts and like where are you at with this whole FTC YouTube COPPA thing?
I've been told I'm all just stuff I've read. Like I think I'm all good to mark my stuff is not for kids. I haven't actually done that yet just because I've been so busy lately. But I'm gonna keep making videos as normal.
Yeah.
I have everything backed up though. Everything I've ever put out is backed up. So if
Yeah, same here.
take down, I can migrate to some other source and nothing will be lost.
Yeah.
I
So
would recommend everybody do that.
yeah, so what was revealed to us recently, like last month, is that so YouTube tweeted on Twitter, obviously. They tweeted that if your videos are targeted to a general audience, you can mark your channel as not for kids.
That's what I'm referring to. That tweet, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, back to the topic at hand. Um, I feel like there's something that there's definitely stuff that we forget to mention. Oh yeah, what do you think about C-3PO in this movie?
I thought he was hilarious.
Same
I
here.
do wish that his sacrifice actually had weight.
Yeah,
But I thought he was hilarious.
yeah. I kind of yeah I found it was hilarious too, and um there's also the moment where where for a second there we thought that Chewbacca is dead.
I didn't believe that.
You didn't?
I didn't, because we see him later in the trailers.
Oh, okay, but I see because I didn't watch a lot of those of the TV spots and trailers.
Oh, I did. But even just like the main trailers, we see him later in the movie doing stuff.
And you know, even if I did, like trailers could be misleading.
That's true. I was like, I was doubtful though. I will say that it was really satisfying. C-3PO kind of had an arc.
Yeah.
Just because like he's just always been this scaredy cat, and just seeing him step up to do that was really something.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like that, like the Sith are a thing. Like people are aware that Sith, like they know that word, and they're familiar with it. Like
Yeah, they seemed really eager to avoid it in The Force Awakens.
yeah, and not to mention, like, it's weird that it's so that people are familiar with Sith, but it it's yeah it's fun. It's just it's kind of it's confusing that people are familiar with Sith because the Sith, they tried their best to. I mean, I guess not. I guess it's not that confusing when I think about it right now because um, at the end of the Return of the Jedi, you know, and it's also been it's been 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's history books and whatnot, and like people like the Republic kind of. You would assume that the Republic kind of, you know, they would like disclose every bit of detail, like, and like the I don't know if the history books would like they would have history books about this already after 30 years. I think yeah, they probably should, but yeah, I it's safe to assume that like the the Sith being like just that people would know what a Sith is at this point.
Yeah, that was fine with me.
Yeah. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Geo says, "Bro, I love the whole Hux being a spy." Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
That
we all.
explains why he's so incompetent. Dude, this trilogy doesn't deserve to exist. I don't consider them canon. That's your choice, man. Honestly, I no longer mind this trilogy being canon. Um, I will say this though. To me, Star Wars is episodes 1 through 6, and the Clone Wars, and and Rogue One, and then I the way I look at the Disney trilogy is basically a bunch of people, make wanting to make fan films, and like it's and so yeah, that's and you know what, I'll I even I'll even like retract that right now and just go back to my statement earlier. Star Wars is a playground, and sometimes children will come and take the toys and make something else out of it, and people might hate it. And then, like, the kids that will come back to that playground will be like, "What did you do to my playground?" And but I finally, I feel like I finally just learned to accept that mess, and just see it for what it is, and see those movies for what they are, and to just um and I also learned to be cautiously optimistic about those movies. Like, I did not have like, I expected the Rise of Skywalker to be an awful movie, and I was, dude, that surprise, the surprise I like that surprise, I was so surprised that to be wrong about my expectations for that movie. And and yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I it's a playground.
Yeah, actually, I do kind of see that viewpoint.
Yeah,
I think it's well said.
thanks, man, thanks. What else does he say? Geo says, this is why the clone troopers are the best military unit in Star Wars. Yeah, they never fall. The droids are dumb. The stormtroopers can't aim. The First Order stormtroopers are dumb and can't aim. Okay, so see, the difference between the clone troopers and the rest of those armies is that in the Clone Wars we see clone troopers as the good guys. We have Captain Rex. That's he's like the main clone that we follow in the Clone Wars, and he, for all intents and purposes, in that show, and even after that show, as we see in Rebels, he's a good guy. And you'll basically never see a good guy that that fails like a bad guy. That fails the way a goon does. Because clone troopers, as we see them in the Clone Wars, they are not goons. They are people. That's basically that's a basic difference between clone troopers and stormtroopers and battle droids, is that they're not just soldiers; they're people.
Yeah.
Um, Clones are strong, capable, resourceful, and independent soldiers. The old faithful, if you will. That's what he continues to say. I don't know why Palpatine got rid of them. It's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, I agree.
Literally until Rebels, I thought that all stormtroopers were clones still.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that was. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know if they ever made the distinction in other media. I didn't follow too much other media until that point.
Okay. Gio says, I mean, it didn't take long for World War II to be put into the history books after its conclusion, so it's not a stretch to think that the Sith would pop up in history books 30 years after. Okay, yeah. And then he says the conclusion of the Galactic Civil War, even when the clones are presented as bad guys, they are a very efficient unit and are much more effective than the stormtroopers. Yeah.
Keep in mind though that like in the prequels, pretty much everybody knew what a Sith was. Like Padme did.
Padme did, yeah. But the rest of the galaxy, so the only people who knew about the Sith in the prequels were the Jedi, Padme, obviously Chancellor Palpatine because he's the Dark Lord of the Sith, and that's pretty much it. And the clones, but it was a twist.
Okay, yeah,
So not everybody knew about them
that we know of.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Oh, and yeah, also Hondo.
Yeah, see, so like all these random civilians, like Hondo, knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I finished building the dual Mustafar.
Oh.
Let's put those characters on their stands here and duel. Yeah. Yeah. So this is
It's playground.
Yeah, this is my old playground here. This is a dual Mustafar. Almost dropped it. And yet, when it's like this, I like it. And then what you can do is open it like this, and then it stretches out like this. And I like it less when it's like this, but I still.
Actually, it doesn't look as horrible as I thought it was when.
Yeah,
it's
but it's
like
but it's still kind of it's a nice display thing. I like it.
Actually, yeah, it's not the worst.
It's really when I first saw this, I was like, but then I saw some videos of it, and now that I have it in hand, it looks pretty. It looks like a lot of fun. I can totally see a kid having fun with this. And so what you can do is you can barely see from this angle, but like you got a couple knobs at the rear end of each stand, and you can you can clash them and have them fight, and like those platforms also turn around and they go from one side to the other. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, I mean, maybe I won't write that set off right now. If I find it on sale, maybe I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
It would actually fit really perfectly in my dorm. Now that I think of it, I don't have a ton of space, but since it's just the dimensions of it.
Yeah. What I don't necessarily like about this set, I have a little bit of gripe about the minifigures. So let's say this is Obi-Wan right here. This face is okay, Not the best Obi-Wan face, but it's okay. And then there's this one, the alternate expression, which I like a bit less. And yeah, it's not really the face that says. I mean, I guess it is kind of the face that says you were my brother, Anakin, I loved you, but it just does not look like Obi-Wan to me.
Yeah, I'm much more fan of the classic heads.
Yeah,
I would display that with the Lego Motel Obi-Wan face.
yeah, yeah. I actually have that minifigure.
I do. I have a couple of them.
Yeah,
Imagine
and then there,
one
this
was
is
my first
Anakin.
minifigure.
This is the new Anakin, and this face is all right. It kind of looks like Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, it's okay.
But then there's this face that looks like freaking Garmadon.
It's not focused, but yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in focus. Please focus. There you go. It reminds me a lot of Garmadon.
Yeah, it's Garmadon. Or the
Superman minifigures, like other face.
Yeah,
with the laser eyes.
yeah. But yeah, other than so yeah, this is the set. It's a fun set. And now to kind of conclude the Rise of Skywalker, what did we leave out? I feel like we left a bunch of stuff out.
Did I actually? This is something that's kind of minor, but I really liked Finn finding a community of people like him who ran from the First Order.
Yeah,
that really resonated with me for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, one thing I feel is that Finn is kind of underused in this movie, but by the same time, I just don't know what else we can do with that character. Like
his arc is really one of my favorite things in Star Wars. It kind of ended in The Last Jedi, I feel, so there wasn't really much else to go.
Yeah. And like and then the thing where we get early in the movie where it's like, Ray, I never told you, and we all think that he wanted to say that he loved her, but then J.J. Abrams kind of says, oh, he wanted to tell her that he's Force sensitive.
We should have said that in the movie then. That's so weird to me that
they never. It is weird that he does that it's not paid off at the end. He never gets to say it to her at the end, but
yeah, that's just strange to me.
Yeah, it was a bit strange, and then, but yeah, I mean, I feel like we do see his character evolve. Like we see his character evolution. Like it finally feels like he is part of the rebellion now.
Yeah,
I
definitely feel that.
And when you think about it, like when you look back, when you see him the way he started, and you see the way he is now, not only he is a resistance fighter, and he's in the rebellion, and he's like he started off as a stormtrooper officer, and he was a janitor before that, and then he ends the trilogy as a resistance or rebellion general, co-general. Dude, if that's not character evolution, I don't know what is.
Yeah, honestly, on my rewatch, Finn is one of my favorite characters, I think, in the whole saga.
Yeah, and he's Force sensitive now. How cool is
a lot of people don't like that, but I'm actually fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too, yeah. And then we have one thing I did like a lot about like in the beginning. I really like the pacing of the movie, to be honest.
Really? Because I know a lot of people didn't, and I wasn't a huge fan of how fast it moved.
It's
But
like you know how I said Star Wars is a playground. So the pacing to me, it kind of represented like it felt a lot to like someone making like some. It felt a lot like some of the brick films that I made, especially and some of the brick films that I see on that I see like from Lego Story Workshop, for example. Like that kind of pacing, it feels like a brick film pacing, a fan film pacing.
it did, but I'd rather be watching a Star Wars movie than a fan film. Which I know you said you see those as fan films anyway, but
Yeah,
I don't. I see those as
yeah,
just legitimate.
yeah. But yeah, I especially in the beginning, like I like the the pacing and the transitions. And so apparently, I don't know if you noticed, and like if you're aware of, but like in the very beginning, the first planet we see is Mustafar, and like we see Mustafar, but then we cut to a planet with trees, and at first I was a bit confused, but then I did some research, and turns out that it is actually Mustafar, and that is just growing growing back to the planet it used to before it was a volcanic planet, and it used to be a planet with trees and whatnot. It turns out, so the place where we see Kylo Ren take the Sith Wayfinder from is it's what remains of the debris from Darth Vader's castle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew it was Mustafar from him. Even on my first viewing, I was like, I thought that was Mustafar.
Yeah, and
But
I was
I
like,
do
man,
wish they
that's
said
wasted
that.
potential. That's wasted potential that we didn't get, that we didn't see the Mustafar that we all know and love, and that we didn't see Kylo Ren on at we didn't see him at Darth Vader's castle. But turns out that it actually is Mustafar, and that it is actually Darth Vader's castle, but not as we knew it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I love Mustafar. I was
yeah,
glad to go back there. And it's interesting that we didn't go back to as many planets from the other films as I thought we would,
yeah,
which is fine by me. I'm all for seeing new stuff, but I am glad that of the few we saw, Mustafar was one of them.
yeah. I mean, one
I
of my
thought
main.
that montage at the end when they showed Endor and Jakku, I thought that was Coruscant, but apparently it's Cloud City.
Yeah, it was Cloud City. Yeah.
I'd
Um.
rather it have been Coruscant because then all three trilogies get representation.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bit of a shame, but hey, at least we got Mustafar, right?
We did get Mustafar.
Yeah. What I do. What? So yeah. So I like that because one of my gripes about the first two movies is that we don't like we see a lot of new species, and we get new planets that just look familiar, but they have different names. And what I didn't like about it is that, okay, it's cool to have new planets and new species, but it feels like it felt like they were trying to replace those planets and those species with new stuff instead of merging them together. And that's a gripe that I had, that the Last Jedi kind of the not the Last Jedi, the Rise of Skywalker kind of fixed by bringing back some of the more familiar planets. And as far as the species go, we didn't see a lot of alien species, but like it didn't like it still felt like we're in universe.
I have no problem with being on completely different planets, but I want them to be completely different planets then. Like if you're going to be on a planet that looks exactly like Tatooine, but just
call
call it something else twice, it did feel a little strange to me. I will agree with you
Yeah.
on that. But um but yeah, Rise of Skywalker actually one of my favorite things about it is like all the planets, even though there were lots of new planets, they did feel like different planets. Like Kamiji like did feel like its own thing, and Exegol felt like its own thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually grateful that they brought back some of the planets at least, so we feel in universe. And what did you think about Exegol, the Sith planet?
It looked cool. I'm just confused as to like what exactly is going on.
Yeah, like what it
You know,
is.
with who, like what it actually is,
Yeah,
and what I have a lot of questions that I wish were answered
yeah,
about like who's bringing back Palpatine, who were those guys, what's with the Sith cult. I don't know.
yeah. So those people that were there were Sith acolytes, basically like worshippers of the Sith and of Palpatine, I guess. And and then there were also the Knights of Ren. What? Yeah. So what did you think of
Right.
the Knights of Ren?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could give a more interesting answer. I didn't really want there's nothing I really wanted from them, so the fact that they didn't really do much was fine by me.
Yeah. Same
But
here.
the Praetorian Guards were cooler in terms of
In terms of action.
cool factor, which
Yeah.
again I don't really care about. Honestly, the Praetorian Guard fight, that's the one thing everybody seems to agree on is epic, but that was probably my least favorite part of The Last Jedi. Honestly, like it's fine. But it's just and it was like cool to see them fighting together, but uh it didn't do as much for me as some of the other more dialogue based scenes.
Okay. Yeah. I feel. Yeah. I think we've established this before that you're more of a dialogue scene person.
Yep.
That you're more of an exposition person than an action person.
Well, not exposition. I I've got problem with
Like
scenes that don't have dialogue.
moments.
Character building, yeah, character moments. That's I mean my favorite scene in Star Wars is either the Binary Sunset, which has no dialogue. So the window scene from Revenge of the Sith, no dialogue, and then
Yeah.
the Luke and Yoda scene from The Last Jedi, which is also which is dialogue, but it's just character built. And all those are character scenes and not lightsaber fights or anything.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with a lot about what you say. Like, these are not my favorite scenes, but they are beautiful scenes. Yeah. Yeah, especially that one with Anakin and Padme exchanging window force connections, something like that. I like that
I
moment.
notice new things about that scene every time. I love just with the way it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
love
like you feel it. You feel the I don't want to say despair, but like yeah, the tension, like the way he's being torn, like the way Anakin is torn apart between keeping to his code and wanting to save Padme.
Yeah, totally. It's just I love
honestly, on my rewatch of Revenge of the Sith, I was just like, it validated that as, I believe, the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Super Geo says JTH is right. People in the prequels would, the prequels would have no in the prequels would have known about the Sith because the wars between the Sith and the Old Republic would have been put in the galactic history books. Yeah, but see, I mean, yeah, but at the point of the prequels, Sith have not been as have not made an appearance for thousands of years until Darth Maul revealed himself. And like I can totally imagine that throughout those thousands of years, the Sith have been in hiding, and so eventually nobody talked about them, and if you don't talk about the Sith, it's like if I raise my child and don't talk to him about if I don't talk to him at all about World War II, and if he never learns about it, so he'll never teach his grandchild about his child about it, and then so on and so forth. Eventually, history, if you don't learn about it and if you don't teach about it, it would just not exist. And that was kind of the intention with when the Jewish people and the Israeli were exiled from their country back in those days. Like people, whoever conquered Israel whenever there was a war. I think it was the Romans who conquered Israel and exiled the Jewish people. So yeah, so they exiled them to Europe, and that kind of, and like the goal behind it is that so that they will not they will not be like, so is the goal would be that people will eventually like not know what being not know about those people, that people will know. And like he also changed like Israel's name, the country name, to like Palestine and whatnot, and like yeah, the goal was that people will forget about, yeah, and it was also a forbidden tongue. Like Hebrew was a forbidden language, so I'm not a history guy, okay? I don't know 100% about this stuff, but I remember something about the conquerors trying to like erase any knowledge of the Jewish people, of Hebrew and Israel all together, and so yeah, so that's basically the point I'm trying to make. When you so for thousands of years, the Sith have been in hiding, and eventually no one talked about them, and so no one would learn about them if no one talked about them. This whole those past 2 to 3 minutes have been a complete mess, but that's my point. If you don't talk about something and like did not acknowledge its existence for generation, eventually no, so eventually like only very few would know about it.
I'm kind of following you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not very clear on history.
It's okay.
And then, okay, so G-Rog says, hi, welcome to the stream. I've never seen that username before, but welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see new faces. Toon Bros is also in the chat, says, hey. And he also says, I saw the movie twice and I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. Same here, man.
I saw it 3 times. I enjoyed it a little bit more each time.
Yeah. And yeah, also hi and welcome to the stream. What's up? And then Gio says, wait, the opening planet is Mustafar? No, fuck you, J.J. Abrams. That's not how geography works. What are you talking about? Okay, yeah, I see what you mean, but if you want an explanation for why there are trees on Mustafar, you gotta watch the Darth Vader VR experience. I know. I hate it when something that happens in the movies can only be explained by something by books or video games and whatnot. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I agree that's not how geography works. Then Toonbro says, what did you think of Rey and Kylo's last duel? I really wish they used the Anakin vs. Obi-Wan song or Battle of the Heroes. I actually never noticed that there was no music in that scene until it was pointed out. What?
There was for some of it. There's a track on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's just nothing particularly special.
Yeah. But I feel like it... I mean, I see what you mean about using Battle of the Heroes for that scene, but... Or Duel of the Fates. It's just that those scores were so special, and if they're no longer exclusive to the scenes they were used in, they kind of use that speciality to me. You follow, Jack?
I thought you were still a little bit. I would have been fine if we saw those tracks again, though, just because it is one saga, and we do hear Duel of the Fates in more than one scene. It's in all 3 prequel movies, technically.
Yeah. Gio says, nah, Exegol was a pretty shit idea. They could have used Korriban instead because that's described as the homeworld of the Sith. Yeah. That's the homeworld of the Sith in the known regions. But Palpatine was in the unknown regions.
It was a little weird. I've never heard of this planet before.
What?
It is a little weird that this big important Sith planet we've never heard of before.
Because it's in the unknown regions. That's the whole point.
No, but like
it's unknown.
It's kind of weird to me. As like I feel like I know what this is.
What?
It was just weird to me because I feel like I should have known what it was.
Yeah.
But it was the first appearance.
Yeah. It's just that, yeah, it was a bit confusing as to what that planet was, because all we saw basically was snowy ground, a bunch of lightning, and like this sort of sanctuary that we don't know. It's not a pyramid. It's like a big cube. It looks like, right?
Yeah. It wasn't even exactly a cube. It was like it was like weirdly geometric though.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like every scene that took place in Exegol, like from the lightning to the Sith acolytes chanting, dude, that was awesome. I love the chanting.
It was pretty cool, but just because like we had no idea, like, oh yeah, if you listen to like Anthem of Evil on the soundtrack, like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Something did feel a little off. Like there should have been like something explaining who those people were, but it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, it's really not. They were just worshippers of Palpatine and the Sith.
Yeah,
They're just a bunch of extras. They were probably CGI too.
yeah, they probably weren't even real.
Yeah. Geo says, wait, if it's the unknown regions, then why does it have a designated name? Okay, you got me. Me neither. Toon Bro says, what did you think of Zori and Babu Frick? I like them both. Yeah, same here. I like them both. I don't have anything bad to say about them. How about you?
I liked all the new characters.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I like the. I like the new characters in this movie because unlike in the Last Jedi, they don't take over the screen. Rose.
Rose was
They're
like,
used well. They are new additions to the cast, but they don't overwhelm the main cast and the main characters in the story. They don't have any they don't have any major effect on the story and on the main characters, but
isn't that what a character should do? Though,
they're
is
used
have
well in the
major
term
effects
that
on
they
the
help
story?
them. They help to the story, like they help the progress, really, the progression, but not in a way that's forced and out of place. That's what I appreciate about the movie.
Rose, there were a couple moments in The Last Jedi that that I wasn't crazy about, but overall, I did think she was a. I didn't. Okay. There were a couple moments that I think should have been handled a little better, but overall, I did like the character, and I feel like she got sidelined in the new one, and you probably liked that, but
Yeah, I love that.
But I missed Rose in the new one. It did feel, especially because like I think it's like confirmed like there was more footage of her. They just removed her from the movie almost entirely.
Yeah. And so yeah, yeah, it's just that I hate that that the new characters that were introduced in The Last Jedi were given so much. They were given just as much importance as the main cast.
Yeah, because that's what a character should do.
No, but dude, those are new characters, and we already have new characters to focus on. Those being Finn, Rey, and Poe, and Kylo. We don't need. We really didn't need a couple more a couple more characters. That at the end of the day they come on. At the end of the day, they're extras. Like you did not care about Rose. Come on. I mean, maybe you did, Jack, but
Okay, I will say that of the my favorite of the I do think that that the new characters in that movie did serve the arcs of the other characters. Like Holdo doesn't have that much screen time, but she does a lot for Poe's arc. DJ doesn't do a ton, but he serves Finn's arc. Rose is in the movie. She doesn't exactly fall into that she's kind of an audience surrogate, I guess. Kind of like the kid at the end. So like I'm fine with her being in the movie. It does what I don't like about her is not what she does. What she does in the movie for the most part is fine.
what does feel strange is that just this she's supposed to be like the everyday kind of person that kind of goes with the adventure. So it did feel a little strange that she was piloting a speeder at the end, just because that was she wasn't supposed to be directly in combat. It was like established earlier, and then the one thing that I will agree with you is really, really stupid about The Last Jedi is Rose stopping Finn from taking out the cannon. That was dumb.
Yes.
That's the one thing I'll concede on. That was the worst part of the movie.
Yes. But at the same time, I did enjoy Finn, and I did enjoy Finn in The Rise of Skywalker. So I forgive you. I don't believe I'm saying this, but I forgive Rose. But at the same time, fuck you, Rose.
It's just the way her character is handled is just weird that they write her basically out of the last 20 minutes of the movie. She's just completely like she's unconscious for the end, and she's barely in the new. It's like, what? I just wish they committed to her more, or at least that's just me. If she's gonna be in the movie, and she got a promotion too, and that doesn't do anything for the Rise of Skywalker. She doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
She's a background character. So like,
yeah, like she's always like she's supposed to be. Like she would. Yeah.
I just feel so bad for the actress and all the
everything that she had to go through. Yeah, I know it's horrible. It's like, yeah, I get it, but yeah, I get it. She's like, yeah, it's awful that people like were attacking her on the internet and attacking Ryan Johnson and everything on the internet. It's really not the actress that's the problem. It's the character and the way that she was written in the script. And yeah, it's really a shame that the actress fell victim to what at the end of the day was just people not appreciating her character's presence in the movie, and not and like what she just did her job. Yeah.
I think that's like, I think because of that, like, I'm subconsciously a little bit more forgiving of the things that I didn't like about her character, which doesn't ruin her character for me personally. Like I did like, I love Canto Bite. I was surprised when I was shocked when people didn't like that, because like I feel like once her character does kind of come out of nowhere, and it did feel a little jarring, but I feel like once she gets her time to shine, like I do like Rose. I definitely don't see her as, even if you don't like her, I can't fathom people saying that she's the worst character in the whole franchise. I just noticed your petting Yoda. I was just staring up at the ceiling because I feel like Rise of Skywalker could have been so much better if there just wasn't as much backlash for The Last Jedi, which is what you wanted. You got what you wanted. This was not the movie that I wanted. I wasn't sure how I felt about Rose at first, but like I feel like once I gave the movie a couple more rewatches and saw other people's takes, I definitely do appreciate her a lot more. But
yeah. Trooper Geo says, I thought the unknown regions was meant to be unexplored. It's a good point, but at the same time, they were explored in Legends. With those creatures, I forget their names, but it was awesome when they did. Okay, let me see. I know that They have a Z in their names. That species. Do you know a bit about Legends?
A bit.
Star Wars Legends. Um. I'm gonna find that name. Uh, those those really cool aliens with like organic weapons.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll find them. Star Wars Legends unknown regions. The Yuzan Vong.
What a mouthful.
Yeah. So those creatures. Let's see if I can like share that picture on screen. Um. Okay, share screen. Okay, let's see what it does when I do share screen. Okay. Chrome tab. Star Wars Legends Unknown Regions. This right here. These creatures right here.
Ooh.
Those are the Yuzan Vong, and they come from the unknown regions. They have what from what I heard, those are organic weapons and organic technology they got. And I would have loved to see those in like on the big screen, if not on on like TV shows and whatnot. Like it would be cool to see these creatures like in The Mandalorian or in some.
They do look familiar. Yeah.
It would be cool to see them in like some future Star Wars show, Star Wars live action show. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I also don't have a problem with them just focusing on new stuff from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Trooper G says, I thought it was a large sand crawler when I first saw it. What?
I don't know.
When you first saw what? Oh, when you first saw the this probably the Sanctuary on Exegol.
Oh, okay.
Then he says, bruh, Rose is a disgusting character.
Yeah, I saw these comments and I was just like, I will wait to address them until you want to address them.
And then Gio says, I have a proposition. I propose a gladiatorial death battle, if you will, between the two most hated characters in all of Star Wars. Two go in, one comes out. I propose Jar Jar. I know he was going to say that. Jar Jar versus Rose.
I just don't understand. Like, I even if you don't like Rose, I don't understand how she could be the worst character in the whole series. I can't fathom that personally. But
I got no comment. Other than I hope Jar Jar wins. Because say what you will about Jar Jar, he's a fun character to watch.
I did not hate him as much as I thought I would on my rewatch.
Fair enough. Toon Bros says she felt like a fan who wanted to be in the movie. Exactly.
That's why I think she's great.
Yeah, but that's also why I feel she was forced in and out of place.
Again, I'll repeat what I said before, that I think everything that you don't like about this movie just works for me by design. It's just
I know,
like,
yeah.
it works for me.
It's weird. It's amazingly weird.
It is amazingly weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but if it wasn't like this, there would be no balance in the Force, and this conversation would be boring.
Exactly. Like, I do like it. Is interesting that we get to talk about this movie years later, and it's like still interesting.
Yeah, years later, and we still talk about that movie. I feel like we've mentioned more of The Last Jedi here than we did the Rise of
I totally
Skywalker.
saw that coming, though.
What?
I totally predicted that. Like, I expected that to happen.
Yeah. Then Gio says, "Do you mean the Yuzan Vong?" Yes, I did mean the Yuzan Vong. Yeah. Toon Bros says Jar Jar is a Sith Lord. He would win. Lol. Hell yeah, man.
I wanted to see that go somewhere. Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar, yeah.
Because like, if you look at like the videos, like the evidence is actually like amazing. When you see like his mouth moving slightly as key moments are happening, as if he's controlling them, like that's not an accident because it's animated.
I get, yeah. There was something that I wanted to say about the Red Skywalker. I just don't remember. What do you think of that huge slug that was on the Millennium Falcon in the beginning?
Claude?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
It was fun.
fine. It was a little surreal, but
yeah, it was a fun addition to the crew. I feel like it's a shame that he didn't stay throughout the rest of the movie, but yeah, it was fun just seeing him there.
Yeah, no. Something interesting that I noticed is my main Christmas gift that I got this year was like the new Kylo Ren shuttle. I do think it's an amazing set, and I love that ship.
Nice.
But it never appears in The Rise of Skywalker, even though it's
a Rise of
Skywalker set.
But you know what? It's still okay that they used that. They just had an excuse to make a to make an updated version. I appreciate that they still made that set.
I do. I didn't pick it up the first time, but now, like, looking back and knowing that the chip never appears in the movie, I would love to see it. I would love to have that set be based off The Last Jedi and have like projection Luke, because we never got that as a minifigure.
Yeah. There's actually a good deal on eBay for the Octo Island set, and I almost bought the set. I just did not. I'm still not sure if I want to get that set because I like I like the Luke minifigure and I like the overall structure.
It's a good set. I think it broke for me, but I loved that set. I love buildings in Star Wars and Lego.
And like I love the way I love the way like I love how Luke was written in The Rise of Skywalker, like the way his appearance. Like I especially loved. I don't know, just every second where Luke was on screen.
That was a great scene. I will agree with you.
It was great, especially at at his very last appearance, where he lifts the X-wing out of the water, and how it mirrors the scene where Yoda lifts it out of the water in
That's a
Dagobah.
callback that I actually think really works because it
In,
actually says something about the
Empire Strikes
character.
Back. Yeah, it works, and like they also use the same the same music, the same
Mhm.
track from that scene. It's amazing.
I do find it odd how often Yoda's theme appears in this movie. It's like 2 or
poetry.
3 times. But and I love that theme, but Yoda has a line and that's it.
Yeah, and like this is you see, this is a scene that to use when you justify the saying it's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
This is the kind of I did not see any other rhyme. Like this is the biggest rhyme that you can use for that argument for
For
that.
Rise of Skywalker,
for
you
that
mean?
thing.
Or just
What?
for Rise of Skywalker or like in general?
In general, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good scene.
Yeah. What did you think of Han Solo's appearance in the movie?
See, again, I didn't want to see Ben Solo redeemed, but as a scene, it was very well done.
Yeah,
I did like it a lot. Like as an individual scene, I would just like, wow, once the movie comes out on Disney Plus, like that's definitely a scene that I would just watch on its own. It's so really good. I actually just goes to show you like how grovelly Mark Hamill's voice is now. I thought that was Luke's ghost at first.
Yeah.
When you hear him say, "Hey, kid."
Yeah. Yeah, I like that scene too a lot. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's just that I cannot tell for sure if that's 100% Harrison Ford in that scene. It feels like it felt to me like he was like Han Solo is part CGI in that scene. It felt a bit weird, and it did not 100% sound like Harrison Ford either.
And it is a lot of reused dialogue too. I would imagine that it's. I never questioned that it wasn't him though. But like to be fair, and as Toon Bros is also saying in a comment, Luke looked a little weird in his scene, and it wasn't enough to like take me out of the movie. But I was just like, huh, something seems off about this ghost.
Because of his long hair?
Maybe it was the hair, but he had the hair in the other movies. I don't know what it was. There's just something...
No, but his hair was way longer in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
Way longer. Yeah. Gio says for sure Jar Jar is the Sith Lord that we have been looking for. Toonbro says, is it just me, or does the Ghost Luke and Ghost Yoda look weird today for modern cameras?
That's what I was referring to, yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing about so I see a bit of inconsistency with the Force Ghosts in the Disney trilogy, because when we see Yoda in The Last Jedi, his Force Ghost, it looks like as if he's really there physically, and there's just a blue glow around him. But like he's not like transparent like a ghost would usually be. But when we see Luke, he is a bit more transparent, and there's way more blue to him.
See, I saw that as being Yoda's just stronger with the Force.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional, but that's
maybe it is kind of a Force Ghost evolution. Like when you start off, maybe like when eventually when you've been the Force Ghost enough time, you just like you can almost physically come back to the physical world.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought. It's kind of dumb to think that, like, basically there's no difference if you're dead or alive, if you have the ability to become a force ghost. Heck, being a force ghost makes you more powerful.
I mean, that was established in the original movie.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thought. Then Toon Bro says, "Is it just me, or does that?" No, that is the same comment. Okay, I'm glad that they established that Han Solo's appearance was just a memory. Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely, because you saw the difference. You saw the difference. Like, Han Solo was not force sensitive. He was not, like, and he didn't have the ability to become a force ghost. Henceforth.
Right.
So it was established that he's just a mere memory and the figment of Ben Solo's imagination. I like that. I like that scene and how it mirrored Han Solo's death scene in The Force Awakens. Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks in The Rise of Skywalker that I like. Yeah, and dude, what did you think about? I just realized something. This set right here that I just built has 0 stickers.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice. Damn. Wow.
I don't hate stickers, but they are mildly annoying.
Yeah, same here. So yeah, what did you think of Leia? So because obviously whenever we see her on screen is reused footage from The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, she was pretty.
Or The Last Jedi, who knows?
I
Maybe 2 of them.
It was amazing what they did on a technical level. Something did seem a little off at times, but like it was technically, like, it was very cool. Again, I didn't want to see Ben Solo redeemed, so a lot of my problems kind of tie back into that, but I wish she didn't die in this movie, but that's not really a complaint I can make because they only had so much footage to work with, so that's probably inevitable.
What did you think of her death scene?
It did get me a little teary-eyed, I will say. I love Maz Kanata's line, "Farewell, dear princess."
Yeah, I like that too. And what did you think of how it's established that she is and that she did have in fact Jedi training from Luke?
I liked that. I feel like it. I hope people will finally shut up about.
And that she has a lightsaber too.
People will finally shut up about Leia using the Force in The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I know they won't, but it.
I actually, I didn't mind Leia using the Force in The Last Jedi because it was established. I mean, dude, we all know that she's the daughter of Anakin Skywalker. That makes her by default. It makes her by default a Force sensitive person.
My favorite moment with Leia in the entire saga is Leia floating through space. I just remember being in the theater and that's like that, and Yoda's appearance in that movie is just like the only times that a movie has just made my jaw actually drop, but in a good way. My jaw dropped when I saw Leia still alive floating through space. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah. And what did you think of that? Because when you see the flashback of Leia and Luke training, it looks a lot like a cutscene from Battlefront. Like you gotta admit that. You gotta admit that.
The weird part to me was that you hear Luke's narration, you know who he's talking about. There was no reason for them to show the CGI faces. They could have just kept the masks on.
Yeah.
That just it was like 2 seconds in the movie, so it's like not a big deal, but it would have saved so much time and money and would have been totally fine if they just used doubles and not shown the faces.
Yeah. Yeah, like whenever we see like whenever we see kind of like scenes and like montages like these that look like they're cutscenes from Battlefront. Like for example, whenever we saw when like in the Force Awakens when we saw Rey having those 5,000 volts of flashbacks from that lightsaber. What like it felt a lot like a Battlefront scene.
That's one of the cool. It's not one of my favorite scenes in The Force Awakens, but it is one of the coolest scenes in The Force Awakens, I think.
Yeah.
I will say that it is, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Palpatine twist, it is pretty satisfying because I was like, there is audio of Palpatine in that scene.
Yeah. And what did you think of Palpatine?
Palpatine is one of my all-time favorite movie villains.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love Ian McDiarmid. And even though his performance was like just as enjoyably over the top as it has been, I just, why does Palpatine have children?
Yeah.
It just, but like honestly, I won't even complain that much because he's just so much fun. He's such a fun character.
You know that he also had a grandchild in Legends. I actually read that book.
Well, that's Legends, and there's a reason why I'm glad that Disney.
The difference is that in Legends he had a grandson, and it wasn't like it was an alien being, not a human, like the day-to-day human being that you would see on Earth. It was like the same species as Admiral Thrawn.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't even remember his name, but when I read that book, it was an awesome reveal. Like I remember, I borrowed that book from a library, and when I read that book, I was like, I want to keep this book. I don't want to return it. Nuh-uh. This is gold right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was fun to be. It was a fun little reminder.
Okay. All right. In that case, I kind of see why that would have resonated with you then.
Yeah, and then like just the whole twist. Like when it was finally revealed that Rey's a Palpatine, I was like, dude, they did it. They pulled it off.
I was like,
they did it. That territory.
Taking away one of my favorite movie moments of all time with Rey finding out she's a nobody in The Last Jedi. Why? I was okay with it by the end, though, with the last scene. Like I was,
and I like how that reveal. How she's conflicted with that reveal throughout the rest of the movie. I mean, throughout the rest of the second act, that is, when we see, because we see her struggle with it, up until when she talks to Luke, and like she see how that reveal weakened her when she fights Kylo Ren. Like he almost killed her. He would have killed her if Leia didn't intervene.
Yeah, probably.
Like he had like the upper hand on her up until Leia connected with him. Like she was like Rey was so unbalanced during that fight, and I love the way you see that, and I love like I love that we finally see her conflicted.
That would have been a great twist if, because I truly did not see that coming. That I was like, when Rey stabs Kylo Ren, I was like, are they
Mhm.
actually going to kill him off here? That would be interesting. I was disappointed that they didn't go through with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to see. I wanted just because I feel like redemption is in becoming something bigger than yourself is a big theme of this new trilogy, and it would have been interesting to contrast that with somebody who was just too far gone. And we
Mhm.
kind of got that with Palpatine. Um, but I just after the end of the Last Jedi, it's just treated like Ben is too far gone. That's how Luke and Leia talk about. Even Leia talks about him as if he's too far gone. So it was just weird to me that they backpedaled on that.
No, but see, because in the Force Awakens, she says like she knows there's good in him. There's still good in him.
Right. Until the Last Jedi, when she says, "I know my son is gone now."
Did she say that?
Uh, she's something like that. She's like, Luke's like, "I came here to face him.
Oh yeah,
But
that's right. Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
save him." And then Leia's like, "I know my son is gone." So like, I was like, "Wow, that's actually." Um, to be fair, Luke does say no one's ever really gone, but because of the dice, I always thought he was talking about Han.
Yeah.
Or even what was even more interesting is the fact, and this is something really adult, that was one of my favorite elements of the Last Jedi, is the insinuation that Kylo Ren, Ben Solo can be too far gone in the present, but Leia can still cherish those early memories with her son.
Yeah.
That was something really interesting, and I wish they'd gone into that more. But Ben Solo is redeemed,
Yeah.
so
In your face.
I honestly, I would have with. While I do enjoy the Rise of Skywalker, I would not mind, honestly, if the Last Jedi had just been the end of the saga. Personally, just because I feel like it wraps up everything so nicely.
It definitely sounds like a better title for the last movie,
It does,
but because like it's confusing. It's confusing saying like the Last Jedi. It's confusing calling the last installment the Rise of Skywalker, and not the Last Jedi, because it feels like the last the like the first thing that comes to mind when you say the Last Jedi is the last movie,
right? Yeah,
the last chapter. But
I do like how this title, "The Rise of Skywalker," actually ties in with Rey becoming the Skywalker, and how we don't know what it means until the very last line of the movie.
yeah, yeah. There's this little gimmick on the set that I forgot to show earlier, because heck, I forgot that it existed up until this point. But basically, you put like there's like this little place here that right here you can put studs in, like translucent uh, orange studs, and then there's this knob right here. When you push it, it ejects the studs, making it look like lava.
Oh,
And now I just did it, but I kind of lost some of those studs.
I hate losing studs.
Yeah. So now I need to figure out where they dropped. So any of in my pocket? No. Any on the chair? No. I see one here. No, that's a hair. Anyway, I'll find them later. I couldn't be fucked right now. Toon Bro says, "How do they get her voice? Leia's voice? they just used um they just used the footage they already had of her talking.
Yeah.
And yeah. Toon Bro says, I like that flashback with Leia and Luke training. Yeah, I like it too. It's just that I wish it was revealed to us sooner, like in earlier movies. But like I'm still okay with it. Like yeah, it's cool. Toon Bros also say, honestly, the fight choreography was better than Rey and Kylo's duel. The fight choreography.
I
Where?
think he means during the Luke and Leia flashback, which is an interesting take.
Oh yeah, yeah, interesting comment. Yeah, what do you think?
I didn't. I don't think that. Like, I did like the choreography in the Rey and Kylo duel, but I was just after the Palpatine reveal, I just like was not as emotionally invested in things
Mm-hmm.
because I was just trying to justify it in my head. So I was like, I was just kept thinking about that. I was like, okay, we need to force this to make sense somehow.
Yeah.
And eventually, I just gave in and enjoyed the ride for what it was.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like unconsciously, I managed to turn my brain off when I went to see this movie, and like I wasn't even intending to do it. I just did, and hey, you know what? It worked, and I enjoyed every minute of the movie when I expected not to.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I wanted to, just because I was worried about it because I thought they'd try to undo everything from the Last Jedi, which they undid some stuff, but what they built, I actually did appreciate.
Yeah. Okay, I found 2 studs, and I think that's like enough. Oh yeah, there's the fourth one. No, yeah, that's the fourth one, and that's all the studs found. Yay! Yeah, it was I think it was one of the like this and Endgame were the 2 most fun experiences I had at the movie theater. Heck, I even think that the Rise of Skywalker was more fun than Endgame, but Endgame really got me. Like the Avengers assemble scene and the entire final battle in Endgame was amazing. Like it was just I was like, dude, yes. Yeah, I was like that. Yeah, literally. You can ask my friends. And
I'm probably beating a dead horse, but for me, the most fun I've had at the movies was The Last Jedi.
yeah, you're beating a dead horse there.
Probably in terms of just fun, probably Force Awakens. But I
had a reaction for a lot of stuff for a lot of things in the Rise of Skywalker. I had a reaction when when Chewie was presumed dead. I had a reaction when Rey did the force healing thing on that snake. I also had a reaction when, thank you. I also had a reaction when it was revealed that Rey was a Palpatine, and
it was a negative reaction from me, but like a reaction.
Yeah, I laughed my ass off when Hux was revealed to be the spy.
Yeah, me too.
And and also when the Raylo kissed, I was like, Mazel tov, guys. And there was a chick like on the row in front of me that was like, yeah, oh my god, they did it finally.
Again, I got a reaction out of when all the Jedi showed up, and I usually am not a fan of these kinds of moments, but just because I feel like it kind of, even though they didn't outright say it, it kind of ties into the theme from The Last Jedi of Luke kind of restoring hope to the galaxy when all those ships just show up and the Star Wars theme just starts playing, and that got a reaction out of me, definitely.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, when the credits rolled, I clapped. I was the only one who clapped, by the way. At the
we all clapped when since I saw it opening night, it was like all Star Wars fans, so like everyone clapped when the Lucasfilm logo came on, and but then when I saw it again, when it was like later, there was this one guy clapping and everything, just trying to get a clap going. But since I knew everything was going, I wasn't gonna.
You know, I was the only one clapping, and I just owned it.
That's good.
I kept clapping. I don't care. Yeah.
My computer's about to die. I can go to a charger if you want, but I would have to tune out for like a couple minutes while I go get that.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, by all means. I'll keep reading the chat while you're at it.
Okay.
Then Toon Bros says, oh no, I already read those. Geo says, bro, the whole Leia in space thing was retarded. Leia should have died as soon as she got exposed to the vacuum of space. Yes. I mean, yes. I don't have much else to say about it, but I did also like what they did with her with the Rise of Skywalker, so I kind of forgive that moment. Yeah. It was great. I couldn't. At this point, I just go with it, really. Yeah. So, guys, those of you who are in the chat right now, what are your final thoughts of The Rise of Skywalker? Did you like that movie? Did you hate that movie? Why? How high would you rate it from 1 to 10? How high would you place it in your top movies of the year? What movie did you like more than that movie? What movie did you like less than that movie? And did you laugh or did you lose? And can you do this? Yeah, I just had to do it. Yeah. But yeah, for those of you who have tuned in tonight, thank you a lot for tuning in. It's a very fun discussion. Every time I talk about Star Wars, it's a lot of fun, really. We're gonna talk like five more minutes with Jack here, and then we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna give you a quick last look at the set that I built during the stream. It's the Duel on Mustafar, set number 75269, and it includes Anakin and Obi-Wan, as you would expect. And what's really fun about this set is that it's got those two platforms that they're on during the scene, and you can move the platforms around there's some knobs at the rear end of each platform, and you can move them around and like turn them around and have them kind of fight. And there's also this little knob right here. When you push it, it's like ejects translucent orange studs that to give like lava effects to the scene. And yeah, it's pretty effective. It's pretty cool. It's not very practical for like like from if you wanna like move this set around from place to place, because obviously those studs are not going to stay in place. If you move the set a lot, they're going to fall. And even when you eject them and shoot them, it took me like a couple minutes to find them all. But at the end of the day, I think this is a cool little set. It's fun looking. It's got a lot of cool colors, like the main ones being black and red, and then you got some orange and yellow too. I really like it. It reminds me a bit of the like some of those Minecraft sets of the Netherland, just the Nether in Minecraft. It reminds me a lot of that in the structure of it. And then once again, you can unclip the set and display it either like this or the other way around. And yeah, it's actually cooler than I first thought it looked when I saw the pictures of it. But yeah, I totally see myself displaying this on either on my shelf or on my desk here. It's a fun display piece. It's a fun play set. And yeah, I'm glad that I bought this set, even though it was a bit overpriced. It's like 33 francs, which is basically like a bit over $30.
Yikes! Is it $30 for us too? I thought it was 20. It looks like a $20 value.
I think maybe it is a $20 set in the US. It's just that here, when you include like tax and shipping and whatnot, and licenses, so it adds up to a $32 set. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that we don't have like we barely have like sales. We don't get like clearance like Target and Walmart get. They're over there in the US. Basically, like, yeah, we almost never have those kind of sales. We do have like we sometimes do have like clearance, but it's really on rare occasions. But yeah, point is, I like this set, and I had a fun time building it. It's got 0 stickers, so for those of you who hate stickers, you're gonna love this set. And for those of you who hate Technic, #fuck Technic, you're gonna also like this set because it's got like 1 bit of Technic in it, and that's pretty much it. Although the rest of the set is brick built. This set is like 99.8% brick built. So yeah. So final thoughts, Jack, before we tune out.
I just settled into starting Kylo Ren's shuttle.
The new figure, the cape is like a weird material. It's like something in between like the other two cape material. Maybe it's just me, but like I like it. But anyway, for the actual movie, I overall I think I liked it. Not as it's the weakest of the sequel trilogy for me, but it was still a fun time. Still some interesting themes. Uh, I think that if you squint hard enough, you can make it work with The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens and the other movies. But maybe some of the expanded universe material will, I guess, help me to understand what's going on a bit more. It's a bit messy, but there's still a reasonably satisfying ending with lots of cool moments, I think.
Okay. And how high would you rate it?
Oof, I don't like ratings. Um, I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10, I guess.
Okay.
But like I'm a harsh critic, so
I feel you.
yeah. I don't know where I'd rank it with the other Star Wars though yet, but probably I would say on the lower end, but I would give I've originally had Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones at the bottom, but I actually liked those movies a lot more than the anthology movies on my recent rewatch. So I might honestly, there's no Star Wars movie I actually absolutely hate now. I might put Rogue One at the bottom, but like even that, uh, I still liked. I still thought it was okay.
Okay.
I do find it this. I probably shouldn't go on another tangent, but I find it so fascinating that the people who typically aren't the biggest fan of Disney's Star Wars, Rogue One is their favorite. But
Same
people
here.
like me who love the direction they have taken it in, Rogue One is my least favorite of the four, by definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Of the 5 now.
Oh yeah, I guess of the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so weird to think about that. There's another one because there's such a longish gap between Solo and
In the Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would actually, as of right now, I would actually give the Rise of Skywalker a 9 out of 10.
Wow, it's pretty good.
Yeah, the only issues that I have with it are pretty minor. Like it's a bunch of nitpicks, like the like you've heard me talk about earlier, like with like the confusion I had with the way with like the way the third act went on,
Yeah.
like with the way Palpatine like drained their essence and how why they died and why she like if she is now if Palpatine is in Rey now or whatever. But yeah, I just enjoyed this movie a lot. And yeah, like whenever I saw like in somewhat of an inconsistency with it, I was like, just you know what, fuck it. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like I just
And
kind
it's
of
not
enjoyed the
something
ride.
I wish it's something that I could have done with The Last Jedi. But yeah, no, it's but yeah, at the end, like I said before, at the end of the day,
Regent General Pride.
yes, that he was sort of cool.
Here's the only thing Jeremy Johns liked about the movie.
Really.
I started watching a spoiler-free review, and then I just got depressed.
So yeah, so like I said earlier, Star Wars, at the end of the day, it's a huge playground, and it could be whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a few more comments.
Oh.
Toon Bro says, I liked it. It's a satisfying end to the sequel trilogy. It had flaws, but it was really enjoyable. Overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Very fair. Gio says, bruh, I'm sorry, but it's a 4 out of 10 for me. Okay. I am interested to see how this chaos keeps playing off, and if the fan base is still as divisive as it was back in 2017 and forward up until this.
I think it'll be more divisive.
You think it will be more divisive?
Just I don't know if you were in the voice chat that particular day, but we had a long discussion, like Ramsey and the rest of the guys, and me had a discussion about geeks and gamers and how it's. I don't mean to like single them out, but like, I guess just there's lots of channels that I guess just are kind of relishing, and for better or for worse, the chaos that is unfolding, and I'm sure they're nice people behind that channel. I just personally disagree with a lot of what they have to say.
Yeah, I don't think I was in that discussion.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of those kinds of channels. Somehow it came up in conversation. Somebody wrote a romantic fan fiction between Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and Brie Larson.
Oh no.
It's a trip. I don't know why I started talking about this. I just no, I don't want to. I don't like pointing fingers at people. I just mean like in general. We talk about this. There are lots of channels that capitalize off of this debate, and there's nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's just as long as it's marketable to debate this stuff, people are going to keep debating it.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, before we go, what do you think? Have you been watching The Mandalorian?
I have. I think it's good. I don't know if I've fallen quite in love with it as much as everybody else does, but I do look forward to it every week.
Yeah, same here.
It's a
tomorrow is the last episode of the season. Yeah.
People are saying, "Oh, this is so much better than the sequel trilogy," and I disagree with that. But it's probably it could be the best non-film material I think that we've seen. There's some really good Clone Wars episodes though. It's better. It's the best non-film material Disney's put out. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Live action, at least. I still love the Clone Wars to the bone.
Right, but Disney didn't put that out.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So like, I wasn't a fan of Rebels. I haven't seen Resistance because it doesn't look too good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now that all trilogies are concluded,
so we think,
and that the Skywalker saga is at the end.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Which trilogy is your favorite?
Ooh, that's hard. Because my three favorite Star Wars movies in this order are Revenge of the Sith, The Last Jedi, and A New Hope. That's the perfect trilogy right there for me. Just those three movies. That's the best of Star Wars. I mean, I guess overall the least flawed is the originals, but if I were to put on Star Wars right now, I would watch The Force Awakens and Last Jedi. If Rise of Skywalker was just like if Rian Johnson did Rise of Skywalker, I think that I could have easily said the sequel trilogy is my favorite.
or even just like a more it was just a little bit more coherent with the first two movies.
Yeah,
Even if it was JJ.
I need. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I'm good now.
I thought you were gonna spit it out.
I wanted to, but I'm in my room now, so I don't want to spit it out. No, I would have been like JJ Abrams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they should have let Colin Trevorrow. I think they should have let him finish it out. I don't know if JJ was the right person to, because he said himself he can't do endings. And again, while I didn't hate this movie, I do feel like it could have been a little more in line with the other two movies in the sequel trilogy.
so your favorite trilogy is the sequel trilogy?
Like, kinda. I feel like, because I feel like Rise of Skywalker isn't strong enough for me to call it my favorite trilogy, but like, my favorite trilogy is A New Hope, Last Jedi, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
That's my favorite trilogy. We'll say that.
Honestly, my favorite trilogy, I do not know anymore what it. If I have
Exactly, like me too. Like I don't know if I can really pick one because they're all such
Yeah.
a mixed bag.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of
I don't know
Empire.
if I can pick one because I have like problems. I have nitpicks of in every one of them
Yeah, no, I do too.
because in the prequel trilogy, I hate a lot of the dialogue, especially in the Phantom Menace, and a lot of the acting too in the Phantom Menace. And it's like some of the just the language that's spoken there feels very unnatural.
It wasn't as bad as I remembered it, except for Anakin in Phantom Menace.
In Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones?
In Phantom Menace.
Really?
I will actually stand just having. See, it's so interesting, like the ways in which you can connect. I feel like I read this really interesting take that I actually agree with. That I guess just because it's kind of comedic. I don't know if this is what George Lucas was intending, but because Anakin's romantic dialogue is so weird, he kind of repressed these just because of the Jedi Order. He had to repress this for so long, and it, of course, it's going to sound totally weird coming out. And I'm actually on board with that.
Yeah.
What makes it a little weird though is how readily Padme just like goes with it. Like that's the weird part to me. But like, Attack of the Clones used to be my least favorite, but it's shot up a lot. I'd say on my list on my recent rewatch, I actually liked it a lot.
Okay. But yeah, like I said, in the prequel trilogy, the Phantom Menace, a lot of the acting, especially in the Phantom Menace, felt very soulless, and then the dialogue, and then the dialogue in Attack of the Clones, it got a little bit better. Even the acting got a little bit better, but some of it felt unnatural. And then Revenge of the Sith is my absolute favorite movie of the saga.
Oh, yeah. So we're on the same page with that. That's
yeah. And then in the original trilogy, my gripes are mainly with A New Hope.
Interesting.
And it's just that it feels like a slow movie because we spend like an entire act on the Death Star. It feels like.
Oh, interesting. Because the Death Star rescue is like my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why, and like it's not that it's just that it's not that like there were things that I would necessarily cut from that sequence. Like I don't see how you can shorten it, but
Yeah.
it still feels too long compared to the other movies that come before and after it.
It does feel long. I feel like Empire is the slowest, and it doesn't. Empire is my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Empire, I don't got much bad stuff to say about Empire. I really enjoyed the movie every time
I don't like Hoth. Everything else is fine.
Yeah, I agree about Hoth. Yeah, everything else is fine. Hoth is
I'm really split because like the Luke and Yoda scenes are like some of my favorite in the whole saga.
yeah.
And, like everything else, just
Yeah.
it just yeah.
And then
I love those.
And then Return of the Jedi is a pretty fun film. Like especially like the third act. I love it. I love it. Yeah. And the ending of that movie, like with the Ewok celebration and the music and everything. I love that scene. I rewatched that scene, that clip from the movie, and I was like, dude, this is such a good scene. Oh man.
Okay. Important question.
Yeah.
Yub Nub or Victory Celebration?
Victory celebration.
100%. Me too. I don't like Yub Nub.
The victory celebration is like da na na na. Yeah.
That's like the definitive.
Yeah.
It's so happy.
Yeah. And then the Disney trilogy. Well, the rest is history, really. You know my gripes with it. I don't need to repeat myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just don't know which. Yeah, I just don't know which trilogy is my favorite.
I don't know either.
Because I have gripes with pretty much every trilogy,
right?
And I just cannot decide. When it comes to character arcs, because every trilogy has a main character that it focuses on. We got the prequel trilogy, we got Anakin Skywalker. In the original trilogy, we got Luke Skywalker, and then in the Disney trilogy, we got Rey. And not only Rey, we also got half Rey, half Kylo because they are a dyad. So yeah, you get 2 in 1 basically. And so when it comes to main characters, my favorite main is Anakin. The favorite character that I had to focus on out of all of those characters was Anakin, because it had a really interesting character arc throughout that trilogy.
I do feel like Anakin is really underappreciated.
Yeah, he's mainly underappreciated because of how his dialogue is written and how he was directed, how Hayden Christensen was directed. But yeah, no, I do not. I really appreciate everything about Anakin, from the acting to the character to the character development, how it's written and everything. Yeah, I don't have much gripes with Anakin. And then speaking of the Force dyad of Rey and Kylo, what did you think of that concept? I think it was it was a lot of fun seeing this new thing with that there's this concept of two beings being connected with the Force and being able to like transfer that they can transfer matter through the Force, like you see Kylo was able to take Rey's necklace, and then when they knocked out Darth Vader's helmet from that display, it dropped on Kajimi, and then at the end, at the third act, we get Rey transferring the Skywalker lightsaber to Ben in the other room. yeah, it was interesting. It felt a bit inconsistent, but it was fun.
I wasn't sure I always followed it, but I like the concept, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, what do you think just of the idea of having like a forced dyad?
I think I kind of already saw that in The Last Jedi. Like that's kind of it was kind of just like confirming what I'd already like come to assume about like they had a connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like to think it could have. It's not because of the Darth Vader Palpatine connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hope that it's just like it was just random because I still see Rey as a nobody who
Mm-hmm.
became somebody because of what she did, not because
Rey
of
Palpatine is not canon.
what.
That's what you're saying. Rey Palpatine is not canon.
Well, I mean, Rey's not a Palpatine though. Like by the end of the movie, she's a Skywalker.
Yeah,
by the end of the movie.
know, yeah. But like, yeah, what I was saying is that you kind of refuse to acknowledge that revelation.
That was
you
the
would
only
prefer her staying no.
thing in Star Wars that has like genuinely frustrated me. Like, just I just the ending makes it okay, but like I've said before, but like when that reveal happened, I was just like, you lost me, movie.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm okay with it in the end. I understand that they couldn't for spoiler reasons, but I really want to get even though I didn't think his character was perfect, I really want to get a minifigure of Palpatine in this movie because his design was pretty cool, I thought.
We probably will get at some point.
At some point, I'm sure we will, but I was just kind of disappointed.
It was funny how like you could totally make a parody about Palpatine being suicidal.
I guess, yeah.
Because he's always like, strike me down. Yes, do it already. Come on.
I did love Palpatine saying "do it" in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I like the speeder. I got the Y-wing because I never had a Lego Y-wing, and I got the speeder chase because that's like original. I got the Kylo Ren shuttle because I like that ship, and it doesn't even appear in the movie, but like the actual in general, like I feel like the sets for Rise of Skywalker are kind of lackluster, at least what we have so far.
Yeah.
Like usually the second wave like gives some more plot relevant sets, but like there's really nothing of interest in the next wave. The TIE Fighter looks cool, but I don't know if you saw the price. It's like $40 overpriced.
Yeah, I saw.
So
honestly, I feel like I really want to buy like every set from that wave, excluding the Millennium Falcon, because I already have a Millennium Falcon. I'm pretty okay with what I got. I am even ready to disassemble the original Kylo Ren shuttle and buy the new one. Because let's face it, nobody's gonna buy the original one from me. and not only because it's old, but also because it's lacking some of the minifigures because I traded them.
If you look like the original Kylo Ren shuttle, you can buy it now for like less than retail value. It's worth nothing.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I really want to buy the set, like most of the sets from that wave because, that's how I appreciate the movie.
I do regret not getting more of the sets from the movie now. When I ended up liking the movie, there was just whenever like there's like a new movie and there's like that first wave was always so expensive.
Yeah.
Like I like in the United States, at least at most retailers, this Kylo Ren shuttle has the exact same piece count as the old one, but is $10 more expensive.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 130 instead of 120. And it is much better, but like it's the exact same piece count.
Wait, how much is the
20?
The original one was 120.
If I remember correctly, I think it was.
Okay. And then this one is 130.
But it's the same piece count.
Same piece count. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe because of the new molds. Like we get the Knights of Ren, we get new molds.
Yes, but like that's not that many new molds. It's just the masks, I think.
Yeah. They go up the price every year. I hate it.
The Sith Trooper, which I can't wait to get to that one. They do look really cool. I just wish they were like in the movie more.
Yeah, I wish they were in the movie more too.
I was confused. They're called Sith Troopers. Are they like part of the First Order or like part of Exegol's? Like,
Yeah, no, they're part of the Final Order. Yeah.
okay, so because I'm like, it was like some like set description said that like, or like action figure description said that like the Sith Troopers were loyal to Kylo Ren specifically, which was weird because I assumed that they were like part of Palpatine's. But yeah, I guess Final Order would make more sense.
Yeah, it is kind of weird the way you describe it.
But yeah, I can't wait. I wish that I wouldn't normally buy them, but like I wish that Comic-Con bust of the Sith Trooper was like made available to the public because that looked cool.
Yeah. I actually want to check out like how much does it go for on eBay?
Tell me, I'm very curious and also scared.
Lego Sith Trooper bust. Buy it now. Price shipping lowest first. Come on.
What is it?
The lowest price I see for is $180. And at least for me it's gonna cost plus $40 shipping.
Wow.
Because I live in Switzerland and it's shipped from the United States.
It's just annoying just because of where I live in the United States. Like I don't live anywhere near San Diego. I live close to, or at least I did before I go into college. I lived close to New York, so I'd go to the New York Comic-Con when that would happen, and they'd sometimes have exclusives. I do have I got this one.
Oh yeah, nice.
Signed by the designer, which is cool. It's like this is one of my most prized possessions ever.
Yeah.
I will never open it.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think I want to sell it, but like, it's probably worth a lot. I think it was like over 100.
Now, looking at your background right now, I can't see much, but I would very much like to see like more of it. Like I would like to see a collection video.
Oh, maybe my collection is kind of a mess. I was very irresponsible with my stuff at a young age, so it's lots of just like random people. Downstairs I have lots of stuff. Oh, you're giving me the...
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can see more.
Yeah, it's not as exciting. It's lots of stuff that's broken.
Nice Choco poster, by the way.
Oh yes, thank you. They kind of got covered up by my Bionicle display case. But I plan on putting Kylo Ren's shuttle up by the Falcon.
Yeah, I'm running out of space here. Like
I'm so out of space.
I have to buy a new shelf to go above the desk, and yeah, like disassemble some of the sets here because like it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah, I've been collecting since 2007.
Yeah. Oh, and last point about the Rise of Skywalker. What did you think of light speed skipping?
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I wish those were. I thought that one planet was Coruscant or Bespin, but it was like a weird mirror planet or something.
Yeah. And so, what other sets do you plan to get from the Rise of Skywalker wave?
So I own the Y-wing, and I got the Pisana chase and the Kylo Ren shuttle yesterday for Christmas. And so I
Nice.
And so I like all those. I already have a Falcon. The Dorito TIE Fighter, as they're calling it, does look really cool, but like it's just
TIE Fighter, yeah.
$80 or something that is like 400 pieces. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't which is a shame because I do want the new Finn, and the Janna figure looks cool too. But like there's not really that many sets in the next wave either. So
yeah, just like I think there's just like the Sith TIE Fighter, the Sith Trooper Battle Pack.
Yeah,
and Poe's X-Wing.
I might have picked up the battle pack, but I already get a Sith Trooper with the shuttle, so I don't know if I need it.
Yeah, but mostly, so the Sith Trooper battle pack, it includes 1 Sith Trooper, 2 Sith Jet Troopers, and 1 Sith Officer.
Right. But I don't plan on. If I ever did make another Star Wars brick film, it probably wouldn't involve the Final Order. As cool as it would be to collect a bunch of those figures, I don't really have an excuse for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. Okay, so I'm gonna read some of those last comments, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So Toon Bros says the sequel trilogy will be respected in a few years, just like how Star Wars fans are respecting the prequels now. That is, if they make a sequel trilogy, and if it turns out to be bad, worse than the current sequel trilogy. Then MBJ Studio says, "What's up? Welcome to the stream. We're wrapping this up, man. But yeah, thank you for tuning in." He says, "When people say the prequels are better than the sequels, I respectfully disagree." Okay, that's your choice. That's your opinion. You're allowed to have one. Toon Bros says, "The original trilogy is my favorite. Revenge of the Sith saves the prequel trilogy." Okay, interesting. And yeah, I actually do agree that Revenge of the Sith kind of saves the prequel trilogy, but it's still an enjoyable trilogy overall. Like I enjoyed Attack of the Clones. There's some stuff there's like my favorite scene out of Phantom Menace is obviously the Duel of the Fates. And or just the lightsaber battle between Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. Attack of the Clones was a bit more enjoyable to me, and then Revenge of the Sith is my absolute favorite, even though it's really long. But yeah, it's a lot of fun too because
not as long as some in the sequel trilogy or Attack of the Clones, I think, are all longer.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is a lot of fun because it's got a lot of locations and a lot of action, a lot of lightsabers, and yeah, it's and it's also it tells the story is great. Yeah, yeah. MBJ Studio says facts, Toon Bros. Okay. And then Toon Bro says, Oak99 JDH Studios, do you guys have plans to make a new Lego Star Wars brick film in the future? I'll let you answer for yourself first.
I want to. I do have an idea for a fourth Sparker film.
Nice.
What I don't have right now is time to make it. We'll see over the summer what I'm doing. Hope maybe I can put something together. But I've had talks with the actor who played Sparker in the original films, and he's definitely game to do another one. And I'm really excited about this idea, but I don't know if I'm going to have time because it's such a big time investment to do one of those. It would probably be a lot shorter, like maybe 10 minutes instead of 30. If it were to happen, I'm not saying that it will right now. I'm just kind of going one project at a time and just seeing what comes up. So hopefully one day it'll see the light of day, but I'm not making any promises right now.
Mm-hmm. As for me, I would very much like to do something Star Wars related on my channel. When it comes to I would very much like to make a Star Wars related brick film on my channel. I just don't know what to do. I have zero ideas. Okay, I have zero ideas when it comes to like something like something like is like a story like the Sparker trilogy. Um, I have like an idea or two for like short sketches, short parodies that have nothing to do with canon, like just dumb jokes that I can use Star Wars characters with. Uh, but yeah, I would very much like to create something that's Star Wars related and and like have it like make my own like love letter to Star Wars. I just don't know what and who and when and if and
Yeah.
and yeah, I just don't know. Right now, I'm still stuck on my last installment in my last Batman animation.
Right.
I'm going to resume production within the next couple of months, hopefully. I'm planning now that I have a job. I'm planning on getting some more sets for that, and yeah, just have a little have some more like more background and like just do a bunch of reshoots and just try to make it as yeah just try to make it like the best I can, because I really see I really see room for improvement in a lot of the things that in a lot of the scenes that are already animated. That being said, I'll try not to I'll try to not go like I'll try not to be too ambitious, but I also want it to be to look. I just want to put everything I got to it. Like I want to put my heart and soul into this project. And I feel like I really needed this like 6 month long break from production, and I really hope to get back at it soon and and like get it done already, because damn, if it's long overdue.
So long.
Yes, so long, but it's for the best, really. And then after that, I really don't know what will come in the future of the for this channel. I really would like to make more brick films and make more Star Wars related content for a change. Um, I need ideas though. I just yeah I really don't know. I yeah. It would be fun like to do like a collaboration with maybe you, Jack, and like maybe like write something together and like co-animate like a project like a bit like Action Brick and Lego Story Workshop did, like not like just like we animate the same project but like in our different styles and whatnot and merge it together. It doesn't have to be comedy or a parody or of something, but yeah, just work on a project together. That would be cool.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have to be at a time when
Yeah, absolutely. There's no rush, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally be down to do something. Like, I just really want to move on from that Batman and yeah, just maybe do some other stuff like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Or
I not to prolong this anymore, but I do feel like I should say that while part of me does miss working on that big interconnected universe that I had going for all those years. Like, it's so nice just to not to have the next 10 films planned out, and I can just do whatever I want now. And
I totally
not
get.
have to worry about continuity or.
Yeah, I get.
Like right now, I'm doing a Bionicle film that's completely unrelated to anything I've ever done before. It's just a story that I wanted to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. And by the way, how's it coming along, that project?
I just started like the actual like main photography yesterday. On Christmas when I got the set that I needed. But like it's only 3 minutes, so it's just short one. So I'm like 30 seconds of animation done already. So it'll be out soon.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So that being said, guys, this is the end of our 3-hour long. Wow. 3-hour long live stream Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker discussion. Thank you a lot for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun talking with you, Jack, and building the set, and yeah, it's always fun, like just talking about Star Wars. So yeah, so Jack, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/JTH Studios. O's. I forget. I've changed it. I don't know if I'm pretty sure both work. So
I'll put a link later on in the description.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and as for me, you if you're tuning in, you are already on the channel. Just if you're not subscribed already, click that subscribe button. And I have a little video montage coming within the next day or two. Just to like as like a little highlight, 2019 highlight, like a bunch of footage from my phone and from projects that I took part in throughout 2019. So just mashed bunch of that footage together and made like a little video montage out of it, like I did last year for 2018. And so that there's this video coming pretty soon. And so other than that, I'm going to resume production on The Last Laugh pretty soon. And so if you want to be up to date on everything that I'm up to, then subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to join my Discord community, you're welcome to do so. There's a link to that on my like channel art tab. Like if you go to my channel art, and like you see some of those links on the bottom right of the background picture, there's a link to the Discord chat. So by all means, join the community. Join the Oak 99 community on Discord. It's not got a lot to it, but you know, it's like a Lego set. You build it, and you know, brick films. What a world! So
was that my quote?
That was my quote from the last time you were on a stream.
Oh, okay. I knew it had something to do with. I just forgot who said it.
Yeah. So yeah. Until next time, guys. May the force be with you. This is the way, and we have spoken. Bye.
Bye.